An Ode to Beowolf. King Hrothgar and his men were drunk. The party was in gear. They scarfed down food until they puked, then had another beer. They sang, they danced, they told dumb jokes, played twister and charades. Their raucous din was heard for miles, sans need for hearing aids. The monster Grendel ground his teeth as he tried counting sheep. King Hrothgar's men were just too loud, he'd never get to sleep. They partied hearty every night, which irked him to no end. He had to work at 6 a.m. despite this maddening trend. He crawled out of the slimy pit he proudly called his home. For disturbing Grendel's peace, a lesson they'd be shown. The party was a huge success, the guests had all passed out. They slept face down in pools of bile and smelled like rotting trout. Grendel crept inside the hall, his gut and mind in sync. He relished in the knowledge of the blood he would soon drink. The monster picked up 30 men, he could not carry more. He broke them all in half, and then he headed for the door. He made it to the entryway, but found it gave him pause. He could not fit with the number of corpses in his claws. Eating all the men right there was certainly a chore. His thirst for death not satisfied, he'd soon be back for more. The survivors slept in well past noon, they'd stayed up pretty late. The smell of Folgers woke them up to their friend's grisly fate. King Hrothgar was just horrified by the mess made on his floor. Everywhere he walked he stepped in blood and guts and gore. And Grendel came back every night, which quite upset the king. I'll have no guests for my soirees lest someone kills this thing. He put a price on Grendel's head, and many brave men tried. It went as well as you'd expect, the whole lot of them died. Some years later, Beowolf showed up at Hrothgar's door. He said he was the answer that the king'd been looking for. I am the mighty Beowolf. I'm handsome and I'm strong. I'm 6'3", 200 pounds. My dick's 10 inches long. Grendel fights without a sword. Well then, so shall I. The king was rather skeptical. He said, you're gonna die. Beowulf just wanted fame, and he knew how to schmooze. My services are on the house, so what you got to lose? King Hrothgar smiled at that last bit, though he retained some doubt, but shrugged and figured it was free. He said, knock yourself out. Beowulf told the men to sing, draw Grendel in with noise, then doffed his clothes and took a nap. He showed outstanding poise. The men all thought that he was nuts, but dutifully complied. They sang and hoped that he'd wake up to kick their foes' backside. Grendel showed up late that night, hunting fates to seal. He salivated at the thought of his upcoming meal. He marched right into Harrod Hall and waltzed across the floor. He mused, you'd think by now they'd learn to lock the door. He pounced upon his first victim, quickly surveyed the scene, then picked him up, ripped off his head, and sucked his insides clean. Grendel tore through Hrothgar's men, while their heroes snoozed and snored. Any time now, Beowulf! Yelled one while he was gored. Beowulf just laid real still, waiting to spring his trap. Hrothgar's dying men just wished he'd wake up from his nap. The monster moved to Beowulf, hell-bent on doing harm. The naked hero sprang awake and ripped off Grendel's arm. Blood pumped out from Grendel's wound, his future looking grim, ceased when he was beat to death with his own severed limb. Hrothgar briefly spared a thought for the men dead on his floor. They might have lived had Beowulf met Grendel at the door. Still, everyone praised Beowulf on his heroic deed. To celebrate, they busted out a couple kegs of mead. High above them, on a rafter fastened by a nail, the late Grendel's appendage dripped blood into their ale.